And welcome back to the Hot Lap. Finally, we got the Belgium Grand Prix underway, and well, Oscar Piastri bit back after his disappointment in Silverstone. He beat Lando Norris, but was it Lando Norris that ultimately beat himself? There's an image, one that I didn't want to really bring up on a bad choice of words, but let's talk about the Belgium Grand Prix, shall we? So before we get into the Belgian Grand Prix, well done Max Verstappen. We didn't do a video yesterday, sorry, I was busy. But well done Max Verstappen for winning the sprint race. It was Piastri and Norris. Norris ended up getting passed by Leclerc at the beginning. He repassed Leclerc, so well done to him. And Piastri could get nowhere near Verstappen because Max Verstappen, stunning, really stunning drive, but even more stunning setup with thoughts of the sprint race. Thinking, I'm going to have that Silverstone S set up really fast on the straights. I might struggle in the middle bits, but he's not going to pass me. And, well, Piastri did not pass Verstappen. At no point did it look like he was even going to pass Verstappen. So a fantastic victory for Max Verstappen in the sprint race. But let's now talk about the actual Grand Prix itself, where Piastri did win the actual Grand Prix. So well done him. But the big question is, on this video, you probably saw it in the thumbnail, Lando Norris. I still think he could have won the race. And there's a couple of key things he didn't do. Ultimately, on the day, Oscar was just better. I can't deny that. Oscar was the man. So, absolutely deserved. Frustrating for Lando Norris. Here's your top 10 then. It was Oscar Piastri winning the race. Lando Norris in second. Charles Leclerc third. Max Verstappen in fourth. George Russell in fifth. Alex Albon in 6th, Lewis Hamilton 7th, Liam Lawson in 8th, Gabriele Bortoleto in 9th, and getting the last point, well done to him, was Pierre Gasly in 10th. Yep, finally Alpine have got another point. They are last in the championship though, don't forget. So after that, we had Oliver Bearman 11th, Nico Hulkenberg in 12th, Yuki Tsunoda in 13th, Lance Stroll in 14th, Esteban Ocon in 15th, Kimi Antonelli 16th, Alonso 17th, Sainz 18th, Colapinto 19th, and sadly a lap down Isaac Hadjar in 20th. So a frustrating Grand Prix for quite a few people that you wouldn't really expect, particularly a Grand Prix weekend, which obviously we will no doubt get into. But Oscar Piastri won by 3.4 seconds. McLaren, I wouldn't say they dominated like some other races, but still, with Leclerc 20.1 seconds behind, they weren't exactly going to be challenged by anyone else. And it was Max Verstappen that finished just a shade behind Leclerc, and then George Russell, kind of like, not quite in no man's land, but not really pressuring anyone, not being pressured by anyone. And then he had Albon and Hamilton just could not pass Albon. That Williams, very slippery on the straights. Slippery in a straight line. Before we get into the race, I saw this. So the FIA, this is basically a rendition of the FIA before the Belgian Grand Prix. No. I mean, yeah.
What the hell? Come on!
No drive. He's wet. No.
Here we go again. No. The track is wet. The track is.
Hell? Come on!
No drive. He's wet.
And if I'm honest with you, that's pretty much how it felt. It was ridiculous. I understand why they stopped it. They couldn't, the spray. But then, like Max Verstappen quite rightly said before and after in the interviews, that had they actually carried on, they would have got some racing in. And then the rain did come. Okay, it was quite wet, and I understand after Air Rouge, down the Camel Straight to Le Combe, it would have been difficult. We saw in Silverstone with the Isaac Hadjar Kimi Antonelli incident what spray can do. Okay, but they waited far too long to get it to go out again. I mean, it was just about intermediates, and then they pitted, fairly early-ish on to carry on, and it was embarrassing for Formula One and all their cars. If you drive a Mercedes, an Alpine, a Ferrari, you can't race in the wet. That's what it says to me from a marketing point of view. Bit embarrassing, really, isn't it? Yeah. The FIA and Formula One did themselves no favours yet again. Just it looks like, possibly due to the lack of communication, whilst we appreciate safety is a concern, but the complete lack of communication as to why they're doing it at the time, it's just embarrassing for Formula One as a whole, which is the top echelons of motorsport. Yeah. Give me a rally car any day for the wet weather. It's just embarrassing, isn't it? This was quite funny as well. Never ask a woman her age, a man his salary, or the FIA why they have wet tyres. Because they're never going to be used. Yes, it is mostly because of the spray, but it's a bit embarrassing, really, isn't it? It's, yeah, not good at all. Once again, this is the top motorsport in the world. Something needs to be done. It's embarrassing. It really is. So let's talk about Lando Norris and why he lost the race. He lost the race because of several things. At the start, he lost the lead. Now, bearing in mind, he was like, first of all, he came on the radio crying, and oh, it's too wet on my side, which I understand. So he got everything he wanted, okay? I'm not saying he was that moan was the reason on his grid side it was too damp, but fair enough. So they got a rolling start, but he did not make the most of that rolling start at all. He went at completely the wrong time. He should have gone in the middle of the chicane, I felt, or somewhere. Piastri did a very good job at going with her. The best job all season of someone following the other guy. And then he messed up La Source. And coming out of La Source, as we know, from La Source to, up the Camel Straight, it's pretty much just one straight going through our region now. And it really, really was, even in these conditions. Piastri was braver. He was closer. He got the slipstream. He passed Lando Norris. Lando was later asked in the interview if it was an issue with his batteries. But it very much was not. It wasn't an issue with his batteries at all. And then he lost the lead, which is when you look back, the race-defining thing that helped Oscar win that race. Brilliant from Oscar. He took advantage. Sometimes you only get one chance to pass, one chance to win. As Eminem says, you got one shot. Oscar Piastri very much took it. Now, Lando did have another chance. As we know, it dried up. Lando pitted after Oscar, so he lost some time, but he was in the hard tyres. And to be fair, at this point, he was pushing like crazy. He really was towards the end. But then he made mistakes. And the pit lane, he made mistakes. We're looking at about 4 seconds potentially lost in that, and he finished 3 point something seconds behind. Now, would he have been able to pass Piastri? There is a massive question mark there. I don't necessarily think he would, but he could have put pressure on Piastri to make a mistake. We know Piastri very rarely makes a mistake, but we know from Silverstone he can be flustered. Remember that penalty? So there was a chance, but Lando Norris really ruined that chance by far too many mistakes after getting a sensational pole. Yeah, I'm not saying it was Lando's to lose or win. Piastri really took the ball by the horns there to win that race on that first racing lap, and then Lando basically threw away any chance he had of trying to get that race back. Sadly. And this was the moment that Lando lost the race definitely. Down, where Piastri had so much more momentum, he just cruised past him as if he had DRS, and Lando could do nothing about it because the mistake was done. About nearly 2 miles away when he actually started the race on the safety car. But there we go. So well done for Charles Leclerc getting a podium. I thought that was really, really good. I thought that was brilliant. But more, do you want another podium from Charles Leclerc? Unlike his teammate, who had an absolute shocking weekend, but from 18th to 7th, really good. That first half of the race ultimately was absolutely brilliant for Lewis Hamilton. And in terms of action, actually, the first half of the race was really good. And then we really had mainly the McLaren fight into where it's going to be with Lando on hards and Oscar on mediums, how that was going to play out. We had a few passing then, but it kind of became a bit like a stale bread after halfway through. So Max Verstappen, P4. I think that was about as good as he was going to get. Brilliant from that. Brilliant from the sprint yesterday. Qualified 4th, stayed 4th. Leclerc soaked up all that pressure to do an amazing job. Yuki 13th, a bit unlucky. I think Red Bull kind of screwed him a bit on the strategy there. But there you go. But this man here, 6th, soaking up that pressure from Lewis Hamilton. Yes, that Mercedes was slippery, but when you've got the 7 times GOAT world champion behind you, and you don't make a mistake, I think that is a massive thumbs up there for Alexander Albon. So yeah, 6th place. Brilliant. P8 for Liam Lawson. It's a shame for Hadjar. Once again, yeah, it just all went a bit wrong for him, didn't it? But P8 for Liam Lawson. Well done, Liam. That's going to give him a world of confidence going into Hungary. And if you can do that, going into the summer break, I think we're looking at big things for Liam Lawson afterwards. Kind of a bit like Lando Norris. I think he needs to be loved. He needs to be loved, doesn't he? So, George Russell and Mercedes. It was a difficult race for Mercedes. Tough weekend, everyone. damage limitation today, George said. We will come back stronger next week. I hope they will. Mercedes have always gone well in Hungary. If you remember, Hamilton got that pole a couple of years back. George Russell was looking good as well. I think he got a pole position there as well at one point. So we will have to see. But Kimi Antonelli, definitely the weak linchpin in Mercedes in Belgium, which was weird because this is the track he knows quite well. And it seemingly, since he's come back to Europe, he's kind of been a bit meh. Now the rumours are even Lewis Hamilton went into the motorhome to look after Kimi to have a chat with Kimi Antonelli. The rumour was, which I thought was really lovely. So massively, we're going to keep our fingers very much crossed there. Points again for Sauber. This time it's Gabriel Bortoleto. He was faster than Hulkenberg. Hulkenberg was told to let him through, which he did. And as a result of that, I think that very much helped him getting points. So very much working as a team there. It's going to be interesting to see how they work for Audi. So it's a massive shame for Behrman. And I'm not going to points that were looking really good, weren't they? Good in the sprint race, but 11th and 15th in the Grand Prix. Nothing to shout about. I mean, Ollie Behrman now, the most consistent P11 finishes ever, I think. When you look at how consistent this guy is, just one place away from the point. But I think a solid weekend for Haas overall, even if in the race they didn't do particularly well. P10 for Gasly, as we mentioned, really good. Colapinto, you start to wonder what is going to happen over the summer break. Unless he has an absolute monster good weekend at Hungary, is his career in doubt? If they have someone in the wings, yes. If they don't, I don't know. I mean, you might as well at this point just put Doohan in and see what happens for the foreseeable. P14 and P17, what on earth is going on with Aston Martin? Sometimes they look good, sometimes they look bad. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think at this point they're just counting down the days to the end of the championship, and for the Adrian Newey and Honda car for next year. This is what I thought was quite interesting. All of these people now have 8 wins. Norris, Piastri and Leclerc, in spite of obviously starting slightly different times, particularly Lando Norris. Particularly Oscar Piastri. But all of them, 8 wins apiece for Norris, Leclerc and Piastri. Who's going to get win number 9? Who's going to make it first in double figures? I imagine it's going to be one of the 2 McLaren boys, really, with the way FerrarI are going. So this was, I'm not going to play it. I'll play it, but without the audio. There you go. The opening titles with a Hans Zimmer twist. Bringing the F1 movie soundtrack to race day in Belgium. It didn't really work, did it? I loved the F1 movie. We watched it. It was absolutely amazing. But yeah, we want our anthem back. Love Hans Zimmer, but not the F1. Please don't do that again. Tune, do love Hans Zimmer. Oh, okay, it sounds like the most generic music you find on SoundCloud. And just stick Hans Zimmer's big shocking. Whoever did this should be fired on the spot. What? That's a bit harsh, isn't it? We want the original theme back. Yeah, we do. I get it. Please bring us more. Oh, interesting. The theme should never be changed. I completely agree. Love Hans Zimmer, but keep the original F1 theme intro. Yes. Never do this again. I love Hans Zimmer. This is his worst work. I don't understand that. I don't know whether that's good or bad. Oh no, definitely no. This intro. This was amazing yet horrible. Please don't. Will it be an IMAX? No, bring back my anthem. This one sucks. Balls. F1, that was a great idea to throw in a plot twist to the intro. But can we? Yeah, I mean, I was okay with it. I just hope it's not forever. Not here for it. Give me the Brian Tyler version. Yeah, that's about that sums it up really. And here is the championship points. So Oscar Piastri leads by 16 points. 81 points now behind the leader is Max Verstappen. 65 points behind Lando Norris. Yeah, he ain't winning this year, is he? You never know. Russell in 4th, the Leclerc in 5th, Hamilton 6th. And you've got Antonelli in 7th, Albon 8th, Hulkenberg 9th, Ocon 10th. I mean, everyone here, apart from Doohan and Colapinto, the 2 Alpine people, have actually scored points. Bortoleto in 4. Hulkenberg, I mean, Bortoleto's on for Hulkenberg's in that top. He's still in that top 10. That's amazing, isn't it? Ocon in 10th on 22 points, which is amazing. McLaren absolutely dominating. Then you've got Ferrari, Mercedes and Red Bull, which I think could still potentially change. You've got Williams very much in 5th. They've got to look over their shoulder a tiny bit. But then you've got Kick Sauber, Racing Bulls, Aston Martin and Haas in an absolute war going into the summer break, coming into the mid-season. That's going to be really exciting. So, once again, Lando Norris. Oscar Piastri wins. Lando Norris finishes 2nd. And it was Lando Norris that made all the mistakes. Oscar Piastri didn't. But what I would want to say about the two of them, Oscar Piastri, I think, very rarely makes mistakes, which is why he's leading this championship. I do think Lando Norris is the faster driver, though. But he makes too many mistakes. So he's very talented. I do believe he's a smidge faster than Piastri, but it's the fact that Piastri can handle the pressure and he doesn't make mistakes, which is the massive difference maker. If you made it to the end, please give us a subscribe. That would be absolutely amazing. If you're already subscribed, just hit that like button. It will give us a smile as well. Comment below. Let us know what you think about Lando's mistakes. Well, is Lando the faster driver? Am I just wrong? Well, we'll see. Speak to you soon. Thank you very much.